Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to recap one of the horror mystery films from 2012, titled House at the End of the Street. Before we get to the storyline, I'd like to wish everyone a happy and great day. The movie begins in the middle of a stormy night, when a young girl named Carrie Ann, who appears to have become a psycho patient, begins to walk towards her parents' room. Due to the noises, her mother awakes, and when she checks on her daughter, Carrie ruthlessly kills her with multiple hammer strikes. Her father, Jacobson, hears the sound of hits, just before Carrie Ann runs to murder him. After killing them both, she escapes the house and never returns. We shift to 4 years later, when a new family moves into the Woodshire. Elissa, and her mother, Sarah, are starting a new life in a ginormous house next door to the notorious Jacobson residence, which can be seen from their window. Jacobson's house has driven down the real estate market, so that allows Sarah and her daughter to afford rent to their beautiful place. Out of curiosity, Elissa goes to look around the house in the evening, realizes that someone is still living in the supposedly abandoned Jacobson house. The following day, while meeting their neighbors, Sarah and Elissa learn that Jacobson's son, Ryan, is still living in the notorious house, but he keeps his business to himself. Here Elissa is introduced to Tyler, a teenage boy that goes to the school she'll be going to, and an organizer of a famine relief program. We learn that even the town tried to buy Jacobson's house since it brings down real estate value. Ryan the son doesn't want to sell it at any price. It turns out that while the gruesome act took place, Ryan was safe and sound, since he's staying with his aunt upstate. But that's not all. Rumors have been swirling for years that after the tragedy, Ryan's sister, Carrie Ann, drowned in the dam, with her body never to be found. Tyler reveals that some people have seen Carrie Ann living in the woods, but others believe it to be nonsense. When Sarah and Elissa go back home later, Elissa hears some noises in the woods again, and a shadow can be seen among the trees. The following day at Woodshire High School, Tyler invites Elissa to a famine group party, but she refuses, saying she has plans with her mother. However, soon after she learns that her mother is stuck with the night shift, Elissa decides to go with Tyler. During the party, Tyler begins to harass Elissa, making her mad, and she leaves the party without any second thought. The road is dark and empty, and a thunder can be heard in the distance. Elissa starts walking home, and when a car stops near her, she tries to call her mom, but the mom doesn't answer. The driver is revealed to be Ryan, who recognizes Elissa as his new neighbor, and offers her a ride. Afraid parents got killed Ryan reveals that when he was 7, his father sent him away, and now their house is the only thing he has left of his family. He also reveals that after fixing it up, he will sell it and leave for a new place. After arriving home, Elissa's mother scolds her for coming with Ryan and not telling her, and Elissa gets frustrated and ignores her completely. On the other hand, Ryan makes a meal for one person, and brings it down to the basement, where he opens a small door on the floor and enters the place of his secrets. But soon after he enters the room at the end of a hallway, he is suddenly attacked by a young woman who appears to be Carrie Ann. Ryan then injects her with some drugs, and manages to make her unconscious again. He doesn't understand why she always tries to run away since he takes good care of her, and he also asks her not to bother the new neighbor. When he leaves the room, he puts the key on top of the door frame, which is where he always puts it. The following day, Elissa sees Tyler at school and tries to avoid him, which makes him insult her. She meets her new friend, Jillian, whom she met at the party before. Soon, Jillian's brother and his best friend arrive there, and knowing that Elissa is a good singer, they offer to have her be part of their band in the upcoming tournament. Meanwhile, her mother Sarah meets a police officer, Bill, and tells him that she has just moved with her daughter and she wants to know if there is anything wrong with Ryan. Unlike everyone else, Bill doesn't hate Ryan, and has great sympathy for that lonely person. He also informs that he has never had any problem with him, but everyone likes to talk foul about Ryan. Hearing this, Sarah becomes relieved and realizes that she was upset over some mere rumors. In the meantime, Elissa visits Ryan at his house for the first time, and gives him a CD of her music. There, Elissa witnesses a lot of food stocking up in an old fallout shelter, and a walkie-talkie with Carrie's drawing. However, she ignores everything and begins to look at Ryan's house. There she sees Ryan's family photo, and gushes over Carrie Ann's stunning blue eyes. When Elissa visits Carrie's old room, she notices that it looks like it belongs to a little kid, while Carrie Ann was supposedly 13. Ryan then reveals that one day, while they were playing tag on swings, Carrie kept going higher and higher, but suddenly fell from the swing. Ryan shouts for his parents to help, but they can be seen sitting hopelessly and doing drugs. This tragedy damaged her brain, and when she woke up, she was completely different. She would attack her family and break things. Elissa soon leaves for home, but when she tells her mother that she was at Ryan's house, Sarah becomes worried about her, and advises her to give up trying to fix the damaged boy. After Elissa leaves the house, Ryan checks on Carrie Ann in her room, but he forgets to lock the door when he walks out. As a result, when Carrie Ann awakes, she manages to break through Ryan's security and tries to escape. Watching her outside, Ryan rushes to capture her, but Carrie seems to be running towards Elissa's house. All of a sudden, Elissa's door rattles, making her terrified, but when she checks outside, Jillian suddenly appears from behind and scares her out. After they go inside, we see Ryan, who somehow captured Carrie. Sarah asks him many awkward questions while drinking a lot of wine. When she leaves the room to get dessert, Ryan still thanks Elissa for being the first person to invite him somewhere since the murders. Just then, Sarah suddenly instructs Ryan and Elissa not to be alone, whether in his house or her house if she is not with them. The mother is worried about her daughter, who is just a high school student while Ryan is a college boy. Ryan respects the rule, but then immediately leaves, making Elissa mad at her mother for her rude behavior. On the next day, Sarah meets Officer Bill and informs him everything she did last night. She claims she only restricts Elissa because she doesn't want her daughter to make the same mistake she did in her teen years. In the meantime, Elissa is still mad at her mother, thinking that she still treats her like a child. Soon she meets Ryan and apologizes to him on behalf of her mother. Having Jillian with her, Elissa asks Ryan to give them a ride back home, but Jillian appears to be afraid of Ryan. They drop Jillian at her house, and Ryan reminds his promise to Sarah, telling Elissa that they should not be together alone. However, Elissa doesn't take her mother seriously, and informs him that she has already connected her mobile with the home telephone, which will now forward every call to her mobile. She then receives a call from her mother, who tells her that she will be busy with the night shift again. Later that night, they go inside Ryan's house to make out on the couch, and the noises they make reach Carrie Ann through the baby monitor. The girl manages to escape from the basement and tries to run away. Watching her take the knife, Ryan suddenly shouts at Elissa, and tells her to leave the house. He begins chasing after Carrie Ann, who is now running through the woods. And before Carrie can reach a couple in a car nearby, Ryan manages to capture her. The girl keeps on making noises that could alert the couple, so his hold on her becomes stronger. Unfortunately, this makes him accidentally snap her neck and kill her. Sad to the core of his heart, Ryan takes her body with him and drives away, taking her somewhere. After taking care of the body, Ryan arrives at a cafe where a student waitress, Peggy Jones, attempts to comfort him and gives him a slice of cake at the cafe. Later, he calls Elissa and apologizes to her, saying he doesn't really understand what happened last night, and that he wants to meet her again. Elissa takes the chance to invite him to the Battle of Bands at school. However, when Ryan arrives there later, the other boys including Tyler consider him as a freak, and try to tease him, but Ryan ignores them. When he goes to meet Elissa, they are interrupted when a boy tells him that the other boys begin to break his car. Ryan tries to stop Tyler and his friends, but they all begin to beat him, leaving Ryan with no other option but to resist. He grabs Tyler's leg, breaks it, then throws him on the floor, and steps on the broken leg. Everyone gets terrified, but Ryan is forced to run away while the other boys go to destroy his house. Watching this, Elissa takes Ryan's car and rushes to save his house. The boys try to burn down his house, but Elissa arrives in time, and manages to control the fire before it hospital, and so, Elissa explains that Ryan was only defending himself against 6 guys. Sarah wants her daughter to be home, but Elissa gets frustrated and ends the call, saying she is at her house. After hanging up on her, she finds a box of tampons, and another strange box in Ryan's trash. Meanwhile, Tyler's parents want Ryan arrested, but Officer Bill shut them up, saying that he will make a move only after investigating the whole scenario. Sarah gets worried about her daughter, but Bill calms her down and goes to check on Ryan and Elissa. On the other hand, Elissa hears some weird noises coming from the basement, and when she goes downstairs, she finds out it's only the washing machine. But when she's about to leave, she notices the hidden door under the carpet, and decides to go in. She then enters the room at the end of the hallway, when suddenly Ryan also arrives there, manages to seize the girl and instructs Elissa to wait upstairs. The girl turns out to be Carrie Ann, as Ryan calls her by that name. After he gives Carrie Ann a sedative and ties her to the bed, we notice that one of the girl's eyes is oddly not blue. Elissa returns to the kitchen, and confirms her suspicions when she finds out that the strange box had held a pair of blue contact lenses. She also finds a wallet belonging to Peggy Jones, revealing to us that the girl in the basement right now is the waitress who gave Ryan coffee and cake. She is startled by Ryan. Elissa wakes to find herself captured in the basement and tightly tied to a chair. Here Ryan reveals that Carrie Ann died during the accident on the swing set, revealing to us that the last girl was also a victim who was trying to escape from Ryan. This makes Elissa wonder who killed his parents then, but he doesn't answer the question. Ryan claims that even his sister is gone, he still needs someone to be Carrie Ann. That's why he kidnaps other girls and attempted to make them look like his sister, and Elissa will be his next Carrie Ann. Meanwhile, Sarah tries to call Elissa, but when she doesn't pick up, Sarah gets terrified and calls Bill to check on Ryan's house first. Ryan goes back to Carrie Ann's room and starts getting things ready to turn Elissa into his sister. He says Carrie Ann's death was his fault and that's why his parents punished him, but he stopped them. Arriving at Ryan's house, Bill interrogates him about the fight with Tyler, and when Bill asks him about Elissa's whereabouts, Ryan claims she might be at the Battle of the Bands but is not here. Before leaving Ryan's place, Bill tries to call Sarah's home, and it is much to Bill's surprise that the ringtone is coming from Ryan's place, leaving Ryan with no other option but to fight. He instantly grabs a knife and turns off the lights, forcing Bill to chase him down. Meanwhile, Elissa manages to free her legs, but to free her arms, Carrie Ann died. Bill was there, and he has always known her parents were addicts, and helped them cover up Carrie Ann's death. Ryan gets mad at Bill when he says he protected him and stabs him to death. After killing Bill, Ryan goes to Elissa, who immediately attacks him, and locks him inside before rushing to escape. Elissa also blocks the secret entrance with the washing machine, but she is unable to escape from the basement as the door is locked. Watching the officer Bill dead, she becomes terrified and tries to escape from the garage, but the doors are also locked. When she gets in the car, Ryan arrives there and captures her again. Later, Sarah arrives at Ryan's house, and starts banging on the door. When Ryan opens the door, Sarah asks for Elissa but he says she is not here. At the same time, Elissa has just escaped from the car trunk, and she breaks the glass on the garage door, making her mother realize Elissa is in the house. Ryan stops her by stabbing her in the abdomen. Meanwhile, Elissa manages to escape the garage, and hides in the basement. When Ryan comes to know about this, he begins to search for her, saying that he loves her but he wants someone to be Carrie Ann. Soon after he finds her, Elissa immediately runs, and instantly grabs Bill's gun. Watching this, Ryan goes to hide and shut off all the lights. But as he tries to attack Elissa, she shoots him several times, and knocks him to the ground. After turning the power back on, she approaches his body to grab his keys, but he suddenly awakes. Luckily, Sarah shows up and gives him the final blow with her hammer and knocks him down. The mother and daughter eventually escape the place, and they are leaving town the following day. The movie ends in the prison, where Ryan remembers his past, when his mother used to beat him for being Ryan, and treat him as Carrie Ann. This reveals how Ryan became mentally ill, and how he killed his parents as Carrie Ann.